me on TVC News at 10. For more is Public Affairs Analyst Chukwuma Okenwa. Mr. Okenwa, we have 64 ambassadorial nominees in addition to 3 already screened by the Senate. What is your take about this move by the president at a time when we as a nation are trying to shore up goodwill from the international community?
Honestly, I think this shows Mr. President is sensitive to the current reality, considering that a lot of issues that has come up in terms of managing our relationship with other nations can actually be traced back to the fact that there has been that gap in terms of having effective representation for the nations in other host countries where you have diasporan communities. And this gap has, caused some challenges, which long before now, for the past 2 years, has been expressed as a concern by watchers of international events. And yes, it does come in rather late, but of course, it's a commendable step. And I do hope that those who've been selected, when the entire process is over, should be able to fill the much gap that we've observed all of this while.
All right, but which names stand out for you, and what are your expectations from them should they be confirmed by the Senate?
Okay, so particularly, I probably may not just want to mention certain names. Yeah, but looking at the list, which we could categorize. So you have some past governors, right? Former governor of Enugu State, for instance, and you also have some past ministers, the immediate past INEC chairman, and some others. Well, what I would say, because the most important thing is that all of them, they are Nigerians. They have served their countries in some capacities. And what would one expect, reasonably would be for many of them that are non-career ambassadors, adequate training, and then, of course, adequate tax to be given to them, mandated by the Mr. President, and with that fact that when evaluated, they should be able to deliver. And when they don't deliver, we cannot afford after a space of 2 years, losing 2 years, not to have effective representation. But I think what I could say is Mr. President, in his wisdom, has chosen people he feels is going to represent Nigeria in different nations.
Right.
And my own self, I'm very curious to see who gets what for which nations, especially for some very strategic nations that has to do with Nigeria.
All right, and we know that the list has been, now referred to the Senate committee for review, and they're expected to report back within 1 week. How do you see the Senate handle this within that period of time? And what key things do you think lawmakers should look out for instead of the whole maybe take a bow and go, approach to the whole screening exercise?
In all honesty, I would advise the Senate committee to understand that this now has to do, it has gone beyond domestic affairs to actually managing our relationship with others. And just like as reasonably expected, if someone have done well in the domestic affair with dignity, without any trace of maybe having capability of bringing the nation's name to disrepute, that would mean there will be need for security check. There will be need to evaluate all of the prospective ambassadors' track record to be sure that they have in whatever capacity they have served the public, they have demonstrated capacity, they have demonstrated honesty, patriotism, true love for Nigeria, because that is what is really going to count when you want to deal with other nations. Because at the end of the day, all ambassadors are expected to put the nation's interest first when it comes to bilateral relationships and multilateral in some cases.
Public Affairs Analyst Chukwuma Okenwa, thank you so much for your time. Let's look forward to see what the Senate does with the list. Thank you again.
You're welcome.